I got this question a lot of time. Like, in this decade, in the age of AI and automation, should we learn coding? Should we learn coding for robotics? Like, we can get all the code, all the wiring in using AI like ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, Claude, or any AI you name, or GitHub Copilot, one of the coolest AIs. And a lot of time this question arises, should we learn any particular language for robotics or just use the AI? Like for robotics, we need C, C++, Python, even Arduino coding. That's actually the C++ coding. So a lot of time this question appears. So I will answer this question using my personal opinion with my personal life. So this is my journey, how I started learning coding. I know this feels a little bit awkward to speak about my personal life. So I was in 10th grade and there was pandemic, the coronavirus spread all over the world. So at that time I had a lot of time, my school was closed and every institution I went for studies was closed. So what to do? I saw a lot of videos about coding or how to code a website. At that time, I had no knowledge. I was completely naive how to make a code, how this programming works, and how to make a website. So at that time, I was randomly searching YouTube videos over how to make a cool looking website. So making a website at that time was um, a little bit scattered comparing to these days. Like we have to learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, then PHP. At that time, PHP was popular. So in the 10th grade, I learned HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP. But that was not like actually the programming learning. I was just more focused on how to make a website rather than how actually programming works. So watching YouTube videos and a few websites like the Stack Overflow or the W3 schools, I made pretty decent websites at that time. Few were static websites, few were dynamics, but actually the algorithm, the data structure, or everything DSA, I learned after that. The first time I just started with no coding, the scripting language is almost HTML, CSS, JavaScript was programming language, and PHP. So after going a few web development tutorials, I just moved to Python. So my Python learning was also structured on the web development. Like I learned the Django, the Python's library to make websites. And then I learned a few of the libraries like to make games. Like I also made a Flappy Bird watching the YouTube tutorials. So Python was cool, I loved it, and it was enjoyable. But there's the thing, in Python or JavaScript or in PHP, you can't understand how the system actually works or how the language is interpreted into the machine language or the binary interpretation or any kind of these things, ASCII code. These things are taught in C, C++, and the data structure, obviously. This is also the mandatory part if you want to learn programming. So after the pandemic was over, I couldn't focus more in the programming or the web development section. But in the university or in the college, I'm right now at the first year and I have a course named Introduction to Computer Language. So here you are taught the C, C++, and Python again. But here the most important is the data structure, the workflow, how the high level languages are converted into the machine level languages. And here's another thing that you get to know about how the loops work, how the bubble sorting works, all the sorting works, how the pointers work, how the address memory works, and everything. So this course was like the actual interpretation of how the machines work in the core level. So that was my journey with programming. So right now I'm doing this robotics thing and all of the components need programming, trust me. The microcontrollers and all the SBC single board computers, they need programming. So how you can do this and how I should do this or everyone should do this. So here's the thing, in this decade, everything is doing AI. Trust me, in the industry, there is AI. In the research labs, there is AI. In the universities, there is AI. But the thing, you have to understand the programming language. Without the basic knowledges of how the loops work, how the conditional works, how the if else or the switches work, there will be less understandable to you about the programming languages, or you will be in the maze or in the loop of just ignorance here. So with the AI, you can have the code, you can have the wiring, but you will not understand anything like how to debug the things, how the serial values, how to use the serial values to change your code, the PID values, like in line follower robot, there is PID values, you have to change them, but without the knowledge of coding, you can't do that. So AI is not the solution. AI is just like a friend who just helps us with the boilerplate or with the simple exert of the code or how to debug in the basic level. But in the complex level, you have to do this. You have to maintain the code. You have to run the test and solve your problem. And also in the system architecture or how you should choose the components, you can use AI, but the basic knowledge is mandatory. And also in understanding the project requirement is also done with you. This can be replaced by AI. So here is my recommended path for learning coding for robotics. First of all, learn the algorithm and data structure. Like there is CS50, you can just check out the CS50 without any coding language, you can just learn this. After learning the data structure and algorithm, you can switch to Python and it will feel the easiest thing in the world. Like you're just communicating with the machine using English, you will feel. So in Python, you can learn different libraries like OpenCV, TensorFlow, or ROS for robotics. After that, you can move to the C and C++. So C and C++ will feel like heavy to you because it has covered a lot of things. Like C++ is object oriented, so object oriented programming also will be covered here. So here the main focus is to understand how these machines work. So for robotics, you will use the microcontrollers or the single board computers like Raspberry Pis or other boards or like Jetson Nano. So here you have to understand the system architecture and how actually programming works in this low machines. After doing all this thing, I think you can switch to Arduino language, and Arduino will then feel like the easy language. Like it's just the blink LED code or a few examples you see from the Arduino IDE, and you'll feel like these are the easiest thing. And after that, I recommend you to use AI for your coding, for your wearing, and also debugging your things. And also, I highly recommend you just use GitHub Copilot. There's the student version available, I guess, for 2 years completely free, and you'll have a chat agent at the side of your IDE. But here's the thing, you just first learn these programming languages and then you switch to AI. So here's the complete thing. AI will not replace the coders. AI will not have the fully functional environment for this robotics development. You have to think, you have to create the logics and then use the AI. And you're like the senior developer and AI is your junior developer, just our supervisor just advising you. That's the thing. So I have given all the essential links, the blogs and the courses you need for your coding journey along with robotics in the website or in the blog shown here. So you just check out this blog and thanks for watching. If you like this channel, just subscribe to this channel and thank you very much for watching.